Alright. The new baki season, bruh. It was buns. And I posted this on Reddit, on the baki Reddit, saying that it just freaking sucked. Because it did. And I'm someone who's seen, like, I've watched all of baki since he was like a kid, before he even had the first tournament where he fought his brother Jack. So I'm an OG fan, and it just sucked. Because Musashi, as a character, he's like not that good. He's like, okay, we're bringing back the most famous and feared and legendary samurai in Japan. And okay, he's like pretty strong and stuff, duh, because to be a legend baseline you need to have like pretty good strength and fighting skills. But where he's really lethal is of course with his swords. And like, bruh, the one thing that was so annoying is his invisible mind cuts. And I know, like, yes, baki is supposed to be outlandish. Like, it's supposed to be martial arts and fighting and all those concepts taken to an extreme. And they were even touching on this concept, like, with baki's visual training. He would like conjure up an opponent, and he basically like shadow boxed, but to a supernatural extent. And like, you know, I actually like freaked with that, because like when I'll be training for like boxing or Muay Thai, not really so much for grappling, maybe if you're doing stance in motion for wrestling, but definitely in striking, you are visualizing your opponent. You'll be, okay, I'm slipping, I'm blocking, I'm going to be throwing like jab to the head, jab to the body. And I'm really picturing that they're there, because you perform how you practice. And so I was like, okay, baki, like, yeah, conjuring up his imaginary opponents, this is good. But then they took Musashi's like imaginary cuts to, it was just crazy. Like, basically his imaginary cuts are like a feint. Like, oh, like, I'm gonna cut you, because for a feint you gotta sell your intention. I'm really gonna sell that I'm gonna jab you. I'm really gonna sell that I'm gonna throw this cross at you. And then if the opponent believes it, they're gonna bite on it, and then maybe they're gonna shell up, or they're just gonna dodge, or they're gonna fidget. And that's what you want, because you want them biting at your will. So Musashi's fake cuts are like just like supernatural feints. And so he was doing them, and they were hurting people, because they're like, whoa, like, I really saw that sword, it was like you really cut me. And they were like feeling the pain. And I was like, okay, this is like a little weird, but it's okay. But then throughout the season, he's hella just spamming it, and people are treating it like it's like just so devastating and crazy. And then I didn't even finish the second half of the season. I was in the episode where Musashi cuts up the reporter, because the reporter was pissing him off for some reason. I don't understand why. Maybe because like Musashi was like, whoa, what's this interview thing? Like, I don't understand the concept of an interview. Whatever. And then, so after that interview of the reporter getting cut up by Musashi, imaginary, then Musashi gets the cops called on him, because they're like, whoa, we gotta arrest this guy. And then they pull up on Musashi. They have these, I don't know, these sticks to subdue Musashi. They have guns. And then so the head cop is like, hey man, you know, like, we're really gonna shoot you and stuff. And then he was like, yeah, if you if you draw your sword, if you try to cut us, we're gonna shoot you. And then Musashi's like, oh, like, good luck trying to see me draw my sword and cut you. And then Musashi, you know, he does this speed quick draw, cuts up some sticks or whatever. And then they're like, whoa, that was so fast, duh. And then the head cop is like, okay, scratch that. If he moves, shoot him. Then Musashi, like, he takes some steps towards them, does some more cutting, and I'm like, bro, like, he just moved like a million times. Why aren't you guys shooting? It was so lame. And then I think, like, dude, Musashi is getting bodied by, like, whenever he doesn't have his swords, like, he can get worked. Everyone in the main cast can freaking has a strong chance against Musashi if he doesn't have his swords. Like, he's only like a really lethal guy with his swords. And like, he'll be getting beat, he'll be taking damage, and then he'll be like, oh, yeah, I let you win, or oh, that was like a new tactic. Or like, or when he lost to Motobe, he was like, oh, I knew you weren't really gonna kill me. Bro, so freaking lame. And then Baki, this series shines when it's like outlandish strength and hand-to-hand combat battle. Like Baki versus Jack, awesome. Baki versus Oliva in jail, one of the best fights ever. Baki versus his dad. And I know in the prisoner arc, they had some weapons, like, what, didn't Doyle or one of them, they just had tricks up their sleeve. They weren't like fighting fair either. And fair is very on the fence in the Baki world. But like, it was mainly like, okay, we're gonna battle it out with minimal weapons. And then, of course, the introduction of Musashi, that was a big gimmick, a big step up, because they're like, okay, this guy is a weapon guy. And we are going to fight him with our regular hands. Like, we're not going to fight him with weapons. But I guess, like, that's why the best fights have been with the weapons. Like, Retsu with his weapons. That was an amazing fight with amazing consequences. And then Motobe with his weapons against Musashi. And, like, Motobe literally fucking won. Even though maybe Musashi was, like, playing around. Bro, if they play around, they deserve to fucking lose. You shouldn't give people the pass. Like, there's so many people that excuse losses because they're like, oh, they weren't taking it serious. Bro, so then that's on them for not taking it serious. But anyways, like, Motobe winning, and he even explained this to Baki. He explained the whole concept as to why Musashi as a combatant in this season is lame. Because Motobe was like, because, okay, Baki went to him in the hospital to apologize that everyone was doubting Motobe. And Motobe was like, it's okay. Like, I understand. Because in hand-to-hand, you guys body me. You guys body the hell out of me. But with weapons, I really become a tier above. And that just proves if Musashi didn't have weapons, he's getting worked by the main cast. It's lame. Because, I don't know, maybe if the main cast was a bunch of weapon users too, maybe it'd be peak fight after peak fight. Because, like I said, all the peak fights in the Musashi era have been weapon against weapon. And then, I don't know, I've temporarily dropped this season because I was like, bro, this is so lame. But I might power through it because I want to see the sumo arc. And, you know, when Jack gets more shine. But I don't know, Baki. You fell off. I might go back to Kengan Ashura, even though, like, I did like when they use a little bit of that CGI 3D animation, because it did make the fighting techniques look a little good, because especially Kengan Ashura has jujitsu. They have way more grappling. Baki is way striking heavy. And I like both, but I dropped Kengan Ashura. I don't know why. But damn. I don't know. And I wanted this Baki season to be good, because I like Baki. I like the series. I was a fan. But I don't know. We'll see. I might just watch like Sakamoto Days, or maybe just stick to reading The Hobbit, because I'm reading The Hobbit and I like it so far. But yeah, new season of Baki. I don't even want to give it a number rating, because it's too low to even be a significant number rating out of 10.